Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, City Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, Attorney Hitchcock, and audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, July 10th, 2017. At this time, we will take roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barton.
Here.
Councilwoman Choate.
Here.
Councilman Kraut.
Here.
Councilwoman Mikowski. Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
And Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you.
Council, we're asking that tonight's agenda be amended, and we would like to add line item 6A1 under the clerk's report. So at this time, I'll be reading the amended agenda. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4 is chairperson's report. 5 is the mayor's report. 6A is the clerk's report. 6B is the treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 17-13. And number 12 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the amended council meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Kraut, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the amended agenda as presented. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Mikowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, agenda accepted.
Number 2, line item 2A, for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on July 3rd, 2017.
So move for July 3rd, 2017.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting, which was held July 3rd, 2017. Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Mikowski?
Abstain.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Abdo?
Abstain.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
There were no special meetings on July 3rd. Number 3, let's see, there are no petitioners on the agenda. So it takes us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would like to, first of all, we had a study session at 7 p.m. tonight, which was discussing the Neo Network Development Corporation. Also, at this time, I want to recognize and call up the VFW to the podium.
Evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to thank the mayor and the council for inviting us here. My name is Mike Santamore. I'm this year's post commander. Unfortunately, a lot of our new officers are on vacationing, so a lot of them will not be here today, but I do have our chaplain, guard captain, and past district and post commander, Ron Allen. And I'd just like to say that I'm looking forward to working again with the city of Romulus. We do have a steak cookout on the 22nd of this month at 4 p.m., $13 a person, anyone's welcome. And we do have drop-in pool now on Sundays, so anyone coming to want to use pool. Again, I'd like to thank you for all inviting us.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
If I could, we did ask through the chair that we have them come welcome their new leadership. We've always worked well with the VFW. First and foremost, thank you for your service to our country. But we want to work together with you on other future events. So if you could pass on to the other members, I know some of them were traveling during the summer, but let them know they're always welcome to stop up. And any of the events that you have, share with us, and we'll try to make sure that we participate and help spread the word. So
And we most
thank you
certainly
very
will.
much.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, Chair going to recognize Councilman Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I'd like a I'm into 50-year marriages this year. Last week, I forgot my friend Mike and Midge Pribilla. On July the 15th, they'll be married 50 years, and we know Midge on the library board and Mike as a councilman and serving on the planning commission.
Support.
A motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Makowski,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved, Mr. Wadsworth. With that, that's going to conclude the chairperson's report tonight.
Mr. Chair, I'll
Yes.
ask for a motion to accept your report. I'll support that.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Makowski,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Tonight, quick quote comes from Joyce Meyer, if you've heard of her. You cannot have a positive life and have a negative mind. And I bring that up because we have a ton of positive things tonight under my report that I'm looking forward to having go before City Council. We have a ton of current events that we do have a short video clip that Roger's going to run for. So kind of give us a quick update, then we'll get into my action items. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine Dancy. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Romulus Report Weekly News Show. The Romulus Farmers Market continues their summer season out at the Historical Park Pavilion every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. through September 27th. Come out and join them for lunch downtown. Bring your lawn chairs and come out to the Historical Park on Friday, July 14th for the next Sounds in Downtown concert with Cruise and Jupiter playing classic rock. There will be concessions and beverages for purchase. Music will begin at 7 p.m. It isn't too late to purchase your ticket for the Chamber's annual bus trip down to Comerica Park on Friday, July 14th. Tickets are only $40 and include your entry into the game, transportation to and from the stadium, and fun and games along the way. For more information, call 734-893-0694. Save the date for the annual APA Community Festival at the Coleman Center on Beverly Road, held July 21st through the 23rd. New this year, the city is partnering for a free movie night on the 21st, featuring the movie Sing. Please come out and enjoy the show. This has been Romulus News you can use. You can stay connected with us on romulusgov.com or on facebook.com/City of Romulus. If you'd like to take another look at this newscast, any of our city council meetings or other cable programming, please visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/City of Romulus.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Roger. Now under my action items for my regular report, first up is item A, which you have as a request to concur that came through Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, and also Kathy Ritter, Assistant DPW Director, and that's to concur with the administration award bid ITB 16/17-35. That's for a 2-year contractual services agreement for the repair of asphalt on an as-needed basis. That would be for the Remart Asphalt Incorporated, term June 30th through 2017. Those funds have been verified and budgeted and available at a major and local street fund as well.
So moved for 16/17-35 for a 2-year contract.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Choate, for ITB 16/17-35 2-year contractual service agreement for hot mix asphalt repair. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Makowski.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Council. Next up is item B. This request came through Tim Keys, Economic Development Director, and our City Attorney, Stephen Hitchcock. And the request is to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into an intergovernmental road development agreement with Seafree Development Services Incorporated, the Detroit Regional Aerotropolis Development Corporation, the Romulus Tax Increment Finance Authority, and Amazon.com DEDC LLC. subject to minor modifications to the language that may be necessary, including the substitution of different Amazon entity as determined by the administration.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, and this is for the intergovernmental road development agreement. Any discussion? Ms. Abdo?
Yeah, I feel a little premature voting on this when we just got the final draft this evening. And it differs from the original draft, and I haven't read the final draft, so.
Yeah,
I
Ms.
can, if you'd like, I can basically say that there's no substantive changes from the agreement that you saw before. We did go back and beef up some of the languages, particularly languages about the bidding process and the fact that our bid procedures are going to be used on this project. And then the one other thing we did beef up was, I mentioned to you before that this entity, Amazon.com DEDC, is a subsidiary of the parent corporation, which is the public company, Amazon.com. And because of our concern about how collectible they may or may not be, because they're in the agreement to backstop the tax shortfall, if any, that there would ever be, so that the bond payments could be made. We have negotiated with Amazon, the parent company, that the parent is going to provide a guarantee of the obligations in the agreement of Amazon DEDC. So we actually will have both those entities on the hook to make any shortfall payments if they were to occur. You'll recall, that was one of the 2 points I raised last time, that there is some potential risk because we're doing a 15-year bond and we're relying upon tax captures through the Tifa city and through the Aerotropolis to pay those bond payments, that if for any reason, through changes in the law or changes in property values, there would be a shortfall in any given year, we wanted a way of protecting for that. And this gives the protection that we'll have the actual tenant, which is the Amazon.com DEDC entity, as well as the parent Amazon, which is the public company that owns all of the Amazon subsidiaries, that both would be liable for that shortfall. Other than that, the substance of it is still the same, where collectively we're going to build the road, we're going to build Binding Road from Smith E-Course, and we're also going to do road improvements on E-Course Road. And the next agreement you're going to see is the agreement with Wayne County with regards to that. And that's going to be coordinated by construction management through Seafried, which is the same company that's building the building that's going to be occupied by Amazon, so that those are coordinated time-wise for completions of those roads using our bid process and all of our criteria for payment. All of the payments would go through our finance department. So I think we've got this locked down to reduce all the risk, and obviously after the end of 15 years, you have a nice road that still exists there too.
Yeah, I just noticed differences between the two documents. What other differences were there between the two documents? Just the locking, tightening?
Locking them, and we beefed up some of the language with regards to the processes that were going to be used. But as far as the liabilities of the various entities, those are still all the same. And of course, even when you're approving this, if you approve this tonight, it has some paragraphs in here that there's some condition precedents that have to occur for this to go forward. And because, for example, the Aerotropolis, that entity has not done all of the things that it has to do under this agreement. And we also have the Romulus Tifa, who's got to pass some resolutions. If any one of these other entities including the county, which has to put in 1.6 million, any of those contingencies don't occur, then the agreement is dead. We won't go forward with it.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Wadsworth?
And just one more thing to Steve. This is the first time in my 30-plus years here that we actually have a final say into a new road or expansion in a new road. In the past, it's always been what the county or state wanted. Okay, I think that's a very positive thing on this.
Yeah, in the other agreement, you'll see that that hasn't changed from before. The county is actually delegating its responsibilities on E-course road for running
That's never happened with
construction
them.
to the city.
Ms. McCoskey? Oh,
Yeah, another point is we don't have to pay for this.
Right,
We get roads improvement, and we do not have, the city does not have to pay for this.
right, the property itself, which is gonna have a $40 million building and $125 million, I think is personal property, because there's a lot of technology in that building. Those two are property tax generators, the building and the personal property, and they will generate at those values, assuming there's no changes in the laws, more than enough revenue to pay the bond payments annually on this.
Okay, no more questions? Ms. McCoskey?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes,
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is item C, which also ties to this development, and this is a request that came through Tim Keys, Economic Development, and also our city attorney, Stephen Hitchcock. And this is the authorization of the mayor and clerk to enter into the intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County for the improvements that were just spoken of on E-Course Road and Vining Road to Merriman Road.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion by Ms. McCoskey, supported by Ms. Roscoe. And this is for the intergovernmental agreement with the Wayne County for improvements of E-Course Road from Vining to Merriman. Any discussion? No discussion? Ms. McCoskey?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
yes,
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item up is a request that came also through Tim Keys, Economic Development, and this is a request to concur with the legal counsel and grant authorization for the mayor and clerk to enter into a construction management services agreement with Seafree Development Services for the Vining Road and E-Course Road improvements for the Amazon construction project at no cost to the city of Romulus. This should be noted that this also is a request of our purchasing ordinance would be waived as no compensation is being paid to Seafree Development Services by the city of Romulus.
Oh, sorry. I was going to just say, after you.
So moved.
Support with discussion. I'd like to ask our attorney, Mr. Hitchcock, to advise what changed from this copy that was just given to us and the one that we received last
Yeah,
week.
this one, it has in it, in the duties of the manager, we spelled out a little more clearly the bid proposals and specifications and conditions that we normally use that is going to be controlling for the project. So even though they're the construction manager and they're going to actually pick subs that are going to do the work, but that's going to be put out to bid under our bid specifications. And then they're going to make a recommendation as to who the most qualified lowest bidder is from those bid specifications. Then they will supervise those contractors then. But we're going to have both our DPW and our engineers out there like we normally would on any road project, who are doing the inspections and following to make sure that it's being done in accordance with the bid specifications and our requirements.
So then there's also project timing and costs that have been added to this as well?
Yes, that's the exhibits. Last time you saw it, it just had reference to an exhibit, but the exhibit wasn't there. But this has timing and costs estimates that have been done for both the Vining Road and for the E-course portion of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. McCoskey. This is for the construction management agreement. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next item is a request, recommendation that came through Tim Keys, Economic Development, Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, City Attorney Stephen Hitchcock. What's before you is a request to concur with administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached easement agreement with DTE Electrical Company, and this is to provide an easement right-of-way for the portion of Vining Road extension to E-course, subject to the final changes by the administration.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'd
Ms.
like to
Choate.
make the motion that we concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into an easement agreement with DTE Electrical Company to provide easement right-of-way for a portion of Vining Road extension to Ecorse Road, subject to final changes by the administration.
Support?
Been motion by Ms. Choate, supported by Ms. Makowski, and this is for the DTE Electric Company easement and road right-of-way agreement. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the last item that doesn't pertain to that development, but it's just a budget amendment you have before you is a request to concur with the administration, introduce budget amendment 17/18-2, and that's just to move donated funds from the library audio-visual escrow account to the library fund for its dedicated use.
I'll make that motion to concur with administration and move the donated funds from the escrow to the library fund.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut. This is for the budget amendment 17/18-2 library fund. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council, and I know that this is a big step moving forward. There's other entities, as Steve said, that will be signing off on this, Aerotropolis, Wayne County, and others, but probably our big challenge now is just making sure we meet the timeline. This company is a real deal, and they're looking to move fast on this, and my commitment and our team's commitment is that we're going to make sure that we do everything within our power to keep them on their timeline, and we're excited about it. So thank you very much. It means a lot to our city.
Thank you. Ms. Clerk?
6A is the clerk's report. Under 6A1, the Property Disposition Committee met this morning and respectfully request City Council's concurrence on the right of refusal to purchase tax foreclosed property in Wayne, from the Wayne County list dated July 5th, 2017.
So I'd like to make the motion based on advice from our attorney on the wording. I move that we adopt the recommendation of the Property Disposition Committee and reject the purchase of the property subject to receiving an extension for the administration to study the properties.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for refusal, right away. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. It's not listed under the clerk's report, but as you know, we're coming up to the election time on August the 8th, and I just have a few announcements. First, today was the last day or the close of registration for the voter registration for the August 8th special election. You can still register, but after today, you'll only be eligible for the November election. Also, we have a public accuracy testing that's dated for August the 3rd at 4 o'clock. That is open to the public. It will be held right here in council chambers, and immediately following the public accuracy testing, will be open to the public to come in, to kind of touch, the equipment, ask any questions that they may have concerning the new election equipment. We're very fortunate because we're going to actually have the manufacturers come out and conduct this public accuracy test and actually conduct the demonstration. So they will be here on August the 3rd. And so with that, I would like to present this to council, and I respectfully request a special study session for July 24th, our next council meeting at 7 o'clock. And that's just to introduce to you, council, and let you see the new election equipment and kind of demonstrate and answer any questions that you may have concerning our new election equipment. So if it pleases council, I'd appreciate if you would grant me that request for
So
a
moved for
study
study
session.
session, July 24th at 7 PM.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe for a study session which will be held July the 24th at 7 p.m. Ms. Makowski,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we will have a study session.
Thank you, council.
Thank you.
For your information, provided a notice of hearing for the customers of DTE Gas Company, and this is scheduled for July 11th, 2017. The notice will be posted out on the public bulletin board. And with that, that concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. 6B is the treasurer's report.
Thank you. Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. I have two items that I wanted to speak about. First of all, everyone should have received their tax bill. If you have not, please call our office. I will be happy to send you one. That number 734-942-7580. And finally, I know it's not exciting to get a tax bill, but if you have any questions about your tax bill, you don't understand the tax bill, maybe there's a comparison, you believe your taxes have gone up or gone down and you don't have last year's tax bill, give me a call. My staff or I would be happy to help you answer any questions you have. That way you can understand it. It's our job to make sure that we're providing that service and that you understand how that bill works. So please feel free to call our office. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer.
Number 7, it's public comment, and this is the portion that's set aside for those of you that are in the audience that would like to have comments. If you would like to have comments and you have not already submitted a request, please raise your hand, and after you've been acknowledged by our treasurer, approach the podium and state your name. We ask that you please limit your comments to 3 minutes so that everyone will have a chance to have remarks or have comments. And also, if you have questions that you need addressed from the council, please note that your questions will be answered under unfinished business. So we'll allow you that time to have your comments, and then under unfinished business, if there's a question or something that needs answering, that will be done under unfinished business. And at this time, Mr. Chair and Council, we have one request, and that's coming from Ed Buchkowski.
Good evening, everybody, council, mayor, attorney, and the members here. When I was at the meeting last week, I was a little disturbed and confused both. I come to these chambers because they're here for city business. And we had a resident come up, I don't know her name, she's in the audience now, but she brought in religion, quoting from the Bible and just tied everything together. If I want to go to church, I'll go to God, I'll go to the house of God and pray. If I want to hear if I want to hear stuff from the city, I come here to the council meeting. I was baptized Catholic. I have religion, but there's a place for it. And these chambers are not the place. This is not a house of God. These are the chambers for the city, and that's what it should be. Thank you.
That's
Any
the
other
only
comments
written request.
from the audience? Yes, Ms. Mitchell.
Charles Miller, St. Aloysius, Romulus. I can't say I've been a lifelong resident of Romulus. I've only been here since 1946. I can't say you're my council. You're everyone's council. I can't say you're my mayor. You're everyone's mayor. Doesn't matter if you've been here a day, a week, a month, if your driver's license says address City of Romulus, you are afforded all the amenities that people can be afforded in the City of Romulus. Some of the most tragic wars in history have a common denominator: politics and religion. That in itself is not an indictment on religion. Politics need no such defense. Only when religion is combined with politics does its evilness raise its destructive head. It's referred to as a cauldron of repulsive and vile vomit. It is my hope individuals would stop grandstanding for God and spend more time on the issues the citizens need to hear about. When an individual fills a rebuttal with religious dogma instead of addressing the issues, it's a sure sign they know more about the Bible than the workings of government. Remember, please, those running for council, on Sunday you can work for the Almighty, but on Monday you work for the citizens of Romulus. Thank you very much.
Yes, any other comments? Ms. McWilliams?
Virginia Williams. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Treasurer, and Clerk. I was here not at the last meeting, but the meeting before that, and I asked a question about the contract with the court and the city, and the mayor answered it. He said, yes, it is a contract. So I found the contract, and the concern with the residents, and even myself now that the question has been brought before us, is the city and the court was in an agreement for the city to put the FUF, which is funding unit fees, in a separate account. So who's responsible for depositing that money for the court? And also, what person or department can open up accounts on the city behalf? Because I'm not for sure if the council or the mayor is aware of this, but it's like a fire in the community about the city spending the court's money. So the answer is now, what happened to the court's money? And who was responsible for putting the court's money? And the court's money was supposed to be put in a separate account to build the new court. I looked over that contract, and one thing I can say about that contract is that the court was doing everything in their powers to make sure that the residents wasn't going to be responsible for paying that bond back. And I can really appreciate that. So the question is to the council, whoever can answer it, what happened to the court money? Because I want to definitely make sure that if the money was used for something else in which the contract specifies it shouldn't be, we, the taxpayers, don't have to make that up. And you can say a bond, you can say a millage, however it goes, it still comes back to its taxpayers' dollars. I was telling a young lady today, and I understand the way the city, the county, and the federal government operates, but the bottom line, at every level, it's all taxpayers' money. Thank you.
Any more comments? Ms. Webb?
Good evening, elected officials. Good evening. I'm Eva Webb, 11049 Moore Street. I just have a comment. On the agenda, under the mayor's report, I can't see, we had items B, C, D, and E. First of all, I think I was at one of the council meetings maybe a couple of months ago. I don't attend that regular. But I did hear some feedback in regards to Amazon. But tonight, I'm glad the question was raised and also the attorney explained some of the language, and also to find out the city does not have to pay a lot of money for infrastructure. And also I did research in regards to Amazon.com, and when it was mentioned about the parent companies, I hope people realize that Amazon.public company is huge. Matter of fact, they closed today at $24.19, I believe, billion. So I don't think that they would spend time trying to build something here, have a company, and go out of here, because they are billions of dollars. The only parent company of theirs that has not been too successful, which did not really hurt Amazon.com, was their diaper parent company. See, there are several components to Amazon. They have the Alphabet, they have the Microsoft, and all of those companies are huge. They are huge. So I just want to say, I do my research, and I feel personally that this will be a very, very good opportunity for our city. I may get some feedback on this, but you know what? I don't stand here before the council, nor the administration, nor the public, unless I have done my research. So I appreciate you, council, for voting on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? If there's no more comments from the audience, we don't close that part out, Madam Clerk.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
So, Ms. Arden, you want to go, Mr. Wadsworth, and then the mayor?
Go ahead, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Didn't want to know, Mr. Chairman, did you want me to respond to the court
Yes.
issue? Okay.
Yes.
I guess, and this did come up a couple weeks ago, I guess I would kind of summarize it this way in some of the questions and points that came up. I'm working under an agreement that was signed by the 5 communities that form district court. Actually was signed by Bill Oakley as mayor back in July of 1998, and I think Steve worked with him on that when he was here before, not showing his age, but he shows his wisdom. And then, so the way that works is since that time, we're the host community. So all 5 communities belong to 34th District Court. Because we're host community, we do get fines and forfeitures greater than other communities because we're investing, we have our building, a lot of costs that are incurred. So we've been working under that agreement since '98. What happened, and I don't know the exact timing, but there was this funding unit fee or FUF fee that was created, and I know Debbie Hoffman was here at the time. The intent before me was to find out what the funding unit would create for possible building structures, either reconstruction or construction. So they put that in place. The judges did that. We didn't do that, okay? So again, that falls under this agreement, that falls under our costs as the host agreement. Last year, as council knows, it was referred to in July 27th of 2016. After the budget process, we went through it. This body, along with our administrative team, agreed to make sure that that was set aside, as you recall, because there was some confusion about it. Where was it? What was going on? All the funds that come over, the question about there's a court employee that brings a check over, okay, every month. It gets deposited. Where it gets deposited and where it gets allocated is based on the budget that you approve. So it goes into the general fund for all our, fines and forfeitures as the host community. The funding unit fee is earmarked for that. It's in the general ledger, has a separate line item, so we can track what was put in, what if anything had gone out, and I don't recall anything at this point in time, but it's basically all accounted for, and it's audited by a separate firm, the same firm that comes in and audits our books, as well as the court, to make sure that any of those funds get in the right area, in the right part of the general ledger, so we're doing everything proper. So just so council knows, and for the public, all those monies are put into based on these agreements that are here. Mayor doesn't deem or direct anybody otherwise, so there's nothing else going on. Anybody wants to see that information, it's public information. There's nothing we're trying to hide. It's in the budget, as you know, that you approve. I don't know if there's any other comments. Steve, as you were involved in the process in '98, he was involved in drafting this that came to us that city council approved. So I hope that clears it up, unless council has any other questions.
Well, I think Mr. Wadsworth had a question first, or?
No, I'll let the mayor,
Okay, well, Ms. Abdo,
if you had
you
So
want to?
Mayor, I could ask you and come to you and say, can you tell me what the FUF fee balance is, right?
Absolutely.
So all FUF fees are going into a special account for the court, am I
You got it.
correct? I just wanted to restate
Yes.
what you said. All right, thanks.
Any other questions? Not, Mr. Wadsworth, you
Okay,
had?
on a different note, Mayor, we talked last week about, on River Oak,
Yes.
the house. I got some calls this past week. I went by there, on the way to the meeting to tonight, and it appears that they think by putting more cars in the backyard and covering up with tarps, that they're solving the problem. Would we continue investigating?
It is still open investigation
Okay.
with PD, with ordinance. At one point, animal control was involved.
That's another thing
We've
I'm-
had I think, a very productive meeting since then. We've had a series of follow-ups. I have a follow-up that I plan to do with PD, but they're working on all three aspects of that, right now, to make sure that that issue is resolved.
And I was been told on another angle that it's possible that it's a breeding ground for a puppy mill, and you know my
That's why
feelings.
animal control
You know my
is
feelings
involved.
about that, okay. Number two, back in June, we approved the demolish of a actually it was 3 years to try to get this on Taft in the back, the house taken down.
Yes.
And they were quite pleased when I went and told them that it was going to come down. Any idea how long before it does come down?
I know we approved it, so it's in process. I don't know, do we have any timeline on that? I mean, it's very soon, because you approved that it went out. We can send you an update. I can tell you that, and the residents in the area have come to public meetings. They've
I
been
know
frustrated. I've talked to them. I've gone out there. It finally did get approved, so thank you, council. It's going through the process. It'll be shortly. I can get you an exact
I mean,
date.
their biggest fear is the snow will fall and they'll be told you'll have to wait till next year.
Oh, no, no.
And
It's moving
for the
forward.
ones that did contact me, the basement is going to be taken out totally. It's going to go back to dirt and grass.
Absolutely. When they do a demo, they totally take out what's underground,
I've
fill,
seen
put
Mr.
in.
Van Ash's work. It's
He does
quite
good work. So, and I'll get you an exact date on when that'll happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any more unfinished business? If not, number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication. Number 11 for approval is warrant 17-13.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Choate.
I'd like to adopt a resolution that we pay warrant 17-13 in the following amounts. General Fund, $84,865.10. Major Street Fund, $6,123.90. Local Street Fund, $5,950.91. Cable TV, $62.42. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $65,000. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $2,160. CDBG, 75 cents. 911 Service Fund, $103.11. Law Enforcement, $74.80. Library Fund, $57,405.97. DDA, $2,995.26. Tifa District 2, $385.35. Court Building Construction Fund, $1,972.50. Water and Sewer Fund, $398,000. $577.42. Motor Vehicle Fund, $9,240.63. Technology Services, $64,868.42. Retirees Insurance Benefits, $6,410.82. Property and Liability Self-Insurance, $7,957. Revolving Fund, $13,999.06. General Tax Fund, $55,202.88. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $6,502.33. Payroll Fund, $163,620.67, for a grand total of all funds, $894,979.30.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Choke, supported by Ms. Makowski, to pay warrant number 17-13 for $894,979.30. Ms. Choke,
Yes.
Ms. Makowski,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant number 17-13 will be paid.
Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Mr. Chair, could I have the mic for just a couple of minutes? I forgot something very important. 2 minutes.
It's up to the council. It's up to the council.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm safe from here,
Come-
everybody.
Come to the mic, Mr. Makowski.
Thank you. Very simply, I apologize because it's very important to me and everybody else, I'm sure. About 2 weeks ago, in the news, there was an accident where a young gentleman lost his leg. And I think a doctor drove up to help, and he got involved in the accident too and got killed. Well, I'm proud to say, 10 days ago, Detroit Muslim Shrine took our van and took this boy to our Chicago hospital. And along with news reporters, photographers, they spent the whole day. And this guy, the young kid, he was really taken back because he's sports-minded. I mean, he's good. And now he's lost his leg from the knee down. And he's in a wheelchair, and when we got him to the hospital in Chicago, he was talked to about, he's not going to be able to do that. Well, lo and behold, in the Chicago hospital, we've got a basketball court and wheelchairs for just that purpose. So they took him out of the wheelchair he was in, put him in one of ours, and he got out on the court and played basketball. Now, mind you, it's just 2 weeks after his catastrophic accident. We had to go on there and get him because he was on the court for an hour and a half playing basketball. But the thing is, tonight on Channel 4 at 11 o'clock news, the reporters and photographers that were on our bus, they're going to do a take on it on Channel 4. And I wish you'd all look on it because it makes all us Shriners just prouder, pardon the English, as hell. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I just think it's ironic that he just brought God into the council chambers. Good work, thank God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Makowski for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.